Let's think about your life for a second. Imagine it's this giant, beautiful painting in progress. Now, the final masterpiece isn't created by one single heroic brushstroke, right? No, it's made up of all the tiny, consistent choices you make day after day. That was the core philosophy of the legendary Jim Rohn. And today, we're going to dive into how these small, daily disciplines are the real secret to success. And this right here, this captures his most powerful idea perfectly. See, we tend to think success is some huge, complicated event, but it's not. It's just a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. And on the flip side, failure isn't some big catastrophe. It's just a few tiny errors in judgment repeated over and over. The path you're on, right now, is decided by these choices that seem so small. So how do we actually cultivate these habits that build success? Well, we're going to break down Rohn's philosophy into 4 key areas. First, we'll talk about mastering your inner world. That's the foundation. Then, we'll get into honing your essential skills. After that, we'll look at fueling your lifelong growth. And finally, we'll tie it all together with purpose and gratitude. Okay, first up, mastering your inner world. You know, it's pretty simple. Before you can build anything that lasts on the outside, you have to be solid on the inside. This is where it all has to start. Rohn often said our attitude is like a magnet. A positive one literally pulls good things towards you. Opportunities, helpful people, new ideas. A negative one? Well, it does the exact opposite. It pushes all that stuff away. Your attitude is the filter through which you see reality. And a tiny daily adjustment to that filter can completely change the world you experience. Now, self-discipline, it's not some magic willpower you're either born with or you're not. Think of it more like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. It is the absolute bridge that gets you from having a great idea to actually making that idea a reality. Without it, the best plans in the world are just dreams. So, how do you build this muscle? You don't start by trying to lift a car. Rohn's advice was to start with small, manageable reps. Try waking up just 15 minutes earlier. Do that workout, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Put the phone away and just focus. And this is a big one. Train yourself to finish things, even if it's just one tiny project. Every little win builds that habit of follow-through. You know, this is exactly what's going on in our heads all the time. We get so trapped by these limiting beliefs. The key discipline is to catch them in the act. The moment that little voice says, "Oh, I can't do this," you have to consciously challenge it and replace it with, "Okay, I'm figuring out how to do this." That simple switch is one of the most powerful habits you can build. All right, let's move on to our second section. Once your inner world is getting stronger, you need the right tools to actually build momentum out in the real world. So let's talk about honing your essential skills. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever had a day like this? You are running around, you're answering emails, you're in meetings, and at the end of the day, you feel exhausted, but you also feel like you didn't actually move the needle on anything important. Yeah, that's a classic time management trap. The trick is to become the master of your day instead of a victim to it. That means you gotta start with a plan. You have to know what your main target is for the day. It means shutting down the distractions, and, this is a hard one, it means learning to say no to things that aren't your priority. This is what separates just being busy from being truly productive. Oh, this is such a critical difference. Most of us think communication is about talking, about getting our point across. But the most successful people in business, in life, they know the real power is in listening. When you listen to actually understand where someone is coming from, not just to plan your reply, you build incredible trust and influence. Okay, on to our third area, fueling your lifelong growth. I want you to think of yourself like an investment. Every small daily deposit you make into your own knowledge and skills, well, it compounds over time, creating absolutely incredible value down the road. And this quote from Rohn just says it all. Look, school gives you a foundation, sure, it'll help you make a living, but it's the learning you do for yourself, day in and day out, that truly creates your fortune. The game changers, they're always students of life. And the best part is, this doesn't mean you have to enroll in a PhD program. It's all about consistency. Can you read just one article about your field every day? Can you listen to one educational podcast on your commute? Can you read just one chapter of a nonfiction book before bed? These tiny deposits of knowledge stack up, and over time, they make you invaluable. You know, this same principle applies to your finances. It sounds so simple it's almost boring, but it is so, so powerful.
Financial freedom has very little to do with how much you earn. It's a daily discipline of managing what you have. This one habit, right here, is the foundation of wealth.
So, the whole point of all this, the big idea, is that personal development is really about becoming. It's about focusing on being just a little bit better today than you were yesterday. If you want to attract amazing things into your life, you have to first become the kind of person who can handle them.
And this brings us to our final and maybe the most profound section, living with purpose and gratitude. These are the ultimate drivers. They're what give all the other disciplines their meaning and their power. Your purpose is your why. It's the deep down reason you get out of bed in the morning. But here's what Rohn taught that's so important. You don't just find your purpose like you lost your keys. You build it. You discover and refine it through daily action, by trying things, by paying attention to what gives you energy and what impact you want to have on the world. And gratitude, wow. Gratitude is the tool that can completely reshape your reality. See, our brains are naturally wired to scan for problems, to focus on what's missing. A daily practice of gratitude literally retrains your brain to focus on what's good, shifting your entire world from one of scarcity to one of abundance. And this practice can be so simple. You don't need a fancy journal, just take 60 seconds. What's one relationship you're truly grateful for? What's one small thing about your health or your home you can appreciate? Can you even be grateful for a challenge that forced you to grow? This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about actively training your brain to see the good that's already there. This quote just brings everything home. It's a full circle. Stop chasing success. Instead, focus on your daily disciplines, your attitude, your skills, your growth. Just commit to becoming a slightly better version of yourself every day, and success will have no choice but to be drawn to you. So, this whole journey doesn't start tomorrow or next Monday. It starts right now, with one small choice. It's not about making some giant heroic leap. It's about taking one small intentional step. So I'll leave you with this question. What one small improvement, what single simple discipline will you practice today?